Got it. Hey, everybody. So as you
Hello.
know, we are here today with our very special guest, Amanda Leighton. Amanda, say hi to the class, please.
Hello, everyone.
So this one is going to be, granted, I feel like in over half of our episodes, we're saying, okay, this one's going to be unhinged. I think it's time to admit the entire podcast is unhinged.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Welcome to another unhinged podcast.
Yes, another unhinged podcast. But no, because Amanda is a very near and dear friend, a sister from another mister, if you will, of mine, and now by proxy Stephanie's. So this is gonna be great, guys.
I feel like we need a gang sign.
Okay, let's bounce that around in our heads. When we see each other at shows, because it's possible we'll all see each other at Tacoma, maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
A gang sign and turn it into a tattoo that we all have to wear.
I will totally get a matching tattoo. Like, don't even try me.
100%.
Anyways, like I said, this is Amanda. Oh yeah, we'll find room. Don't worry. But yeah, no. So Amanda, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Maybe start going as far depth as you want or as little depth as you want. Like, how did you get into grooming? What has like your grooming journey been? I know there's a lot. I'm here for it.
Ooh, gosh, I've been in this field for 20 some years. I'm just gonna do the sum. Not to give my age away. I still naturally young. God bless that genetic gene.
Yes.
But I started so long ago. I was told growing up that I could never make a career in the pet industry.
I feel like so many of us heard that.
Yeah.
They don't think it's a real job.
It's a real career. Obviously, we have made it as a career, and we have all done very well for ourselves. And I started out trying to prove a point that I could. I fell in love with the fact of being with animals because we had so many different connections.
Right.
Animals are naturally drawn to me. What did my massage therapist say? I'm kind of like a dog healer when they're on my table. I can sense what is sore on them and can kind of do a little freaky section with them. I had a cat walk up to me and I was like, she's limping on her front leg. And Mom's like, what? I'm like, she's favoring her front leg on the right side. And she's like, how did you know? I was like,
because I have eyes.
I was like, I see a slight difference in her walk, and it's that one leg. I picked it up and picked her up. Her name was Zoe. She's a Tonkinese, gorgeous blue eyes, sweet little Zoe. And her eyes were like the color of my hair. That was how pretty her eyes were.
For our audio listeners, Amanda's hair is a gorgeous blue. Like what aquamarine, like
it's what did Kimberly do? She did blue with fuchsia and purple.
Ooh, it's beautiful. You guys will just have to go to YouTube and see it.
It is.
Yeah. So amazingly, I will say it's held color this time because remember, for 18 months I was blonde or going blonde.
Yes, you're going very natural. Yep.
I hate my blonde. Blondes do have more fun, but jokes aren't.
Either way, sorry, you're Tonkinese with blue eyes.
Yes. But Mom took her to the vet and realized the vet determined she had sprained her front leg jumping
off
something.
Yeah.
So it's like without knowing that, without you saying something, she probably would have been walking around with a little bit of pain. I don't groom Zoe, but I just do her nails every now and then for Mom. But,
yeah.
But anyway, let's see, I started with Petco.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, don't do Petco."
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back. I'll say that, but it was some of the best experience I had. It taught me a lot of the do's and the don'ts.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity to start out. I don't knock it till you try it. I'm sure PetSmart is probably about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. I never worked for PetSmart, but I'm just gonna assume they're absolutely the same. From there, I started as bather for about 18 months. Then
Okay.
did grooming school. After 3 years of grooming, I was promoted to
Yeah.
salon manager in
Nice.
another city, which was almost an hour drive away versus 5 minutes away. Why did I do it? I don't know. But
The experience, man.
I think it was the same year I lost my grandma. So I think I needed a challenge.
Yeah.
It was a challenge because once I walked in the door, they're like, here. And I was like, what do I do? There was no one there to guide me through
Aw.
anything. And I was scolded on three levels. I was like,
Yeah.
you asked me to do this. Well, you did so well here. We thought you do really well here. I'm like, yeah, but you don't give me the tools. You
Right.
don't put me into a class to learn management. You just
Mm-hmm.
hand me the tools and expect me to make a salon that was non-existent to be something.
Yeah.
So, and this new salon, they expected me to do about 20,000 in a month, which finding help back then was not easy. A lot of times I was the only one working 7 days a week.
Ah.
Yeah. And being salon manager, you had to be there weekends.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
All the
so
time.
all the time. I was like, at one point, one of the floor employees looked at me. She's like, I know you're unhappy. I know someone who could probably use your help. I was like,
Oh.
what? She's like, so this other lady I work for part time is looking for a groomer.
Oh.
Okay. So I went and had an interview. And I will tell you this, I've never had a working interview. I was just
Yeah.
basically hired on the spot.
Yep.
She had gone on my Facebook page and seen the work that I posted, and that was it. I was like, okay, wow. The day I was supposed to hand my 2 weeks, noticing I got tonsillitis.
Oh.
And it happened to be on the weekend. It happened Thursday night, about 11 p.m. As manager, you're supposed to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I was running fevers.
Yeah.
I could barely breathe. My tonsils were so swollen. I still have them. Amazing. They could have just taken
Wow.
them out. But
Huh.
I was told right then and there from my boss above me, if I didn't have a doctor's note, I could look for another job. And I was like, huh.
I'd be like,
Um, yeah.
So just like coughed on him a couple times.
oh, sorry.
Well,
For our
and
audio listeners, I basically just opened my mouth wide,
and
stuck out my tongue, and pointed
yeah.
to my tonsils.
Well, I was tonsillitis at that stage was kind of contagious, and his wife was battling cancer, was doing
Oh my God.
chemotherapy.
Oh,
So,
like, no, you really don't want me there, guy.
yeah, seriously. And I had 5 day doctor's note of no work,
Yeah.
and I was like, I was on the fence before trying whether or not I want to stay with Petco or or if I wanted to go to a private salon. But that phrase, doctor's note or find another job, seal the deal.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I walked in and I handed my note. He looked at it, looked at the doctor's note, and I'm like, yeah, this is dated the day I got sick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, respect it.
Yeah.
And he's like, so are we going to expect you not to show up at work now? I said, no, I will keep my promise and stay the remainder of the 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which I did. And he tried to do everything to be there.
Oh,
It didn't work. I just
of
laughed. If you're going to threaten me for being sick, I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need that over my head. Like,
No.
Can a person be sick in this world?
Right.
And I will tell you, in the 8 years I worked for Petco, that was the only time I was really sick. I mean, I never missed work. I was usually the one covering everybody's.
Yeah. Yeah. So like they want to jump that fast.
Yep.
To a good loyal worker.
Yeah, there was a couple other incidents we had a few headbutts as manager.
Yeah.
It was quite funny. Petco decided to hire this guy who worked for Blockbuster. So did I tell you how long ago that was?
Yes.
That's aging me a little bit. So he goes,
okay.
Yeah, running a Petco is no different than running a Blockbuster. I was like, yeah, you just walked into you walked into my turf. I'm going to show you.
Right.
So before I had taken the manager position, I started going through the process of being certified as cat groomer. As far as I got was just baby. And during all through the books, it says don't do cats on the weekends.
Okay.
And I could only handle the cats that I was taught how to do. I couldn't do haircuts because that's against the policy. I was only certified to do baby.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, this guy books me a cat, and it's a shave down.
Oh no.
And I looked at him, and I was like, do you want me to do this? And he looks at me and goes, yeah, you're the manager. I'm like, it's going against the Petco rules.
Like, you don't understand.
And he's like, you're going to do it. And I was like, no, I'm not. Well, luckily the cat didn't have rabies vaccination, so
so you didn't have to worry about it.
I walked up to him, I'm like, so the cat's rabies vaccination expired 6 months ago. Do you still want me to break the rules? And he looked at me. He says, no.
Okay, then.
Like,
okay, then.
So I had to send that one around. And then I blasted it on Facebook.
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap. Yep.
Oh, snap.
I did it. I called him out on his shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Publicly. I have to delete it later, or else I'd lose my job.
Yeah. Sip.
But it was out there. And I wish this was alcohol, but it's tea. Nice hot tea. I mean, we could pretend it's alcohol. But yeah. So those incidents with Petco was kind of my last straw. But working for a private salon was really interesting.
Yeah.
I suddenly found myself grooming alone.
Oh.
Great.
Yeah.
I was working with someone else, and then after my first week, I was solo again. I didn't have problems then having clients.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. After about 8 months, they started having me do almost everything.
Oh.
From bookkeeping I had to keep, I had to take the calls. I had to groom the dogs. I had to,
God,
yeah,
that's not fun.
make the deposit. And I wasn't getting paid any more than
Yeah, no, they want you to take on all
commission.
the responsibility, but not get any extra payment.
Yes. And then about a year and a half into that, it would got to be the point of I would only have one or two dogs a day. And I was like, we gotta do something different here. The
Yeah,
location's kind of crappy.
yeah.
You need to move your location. Because I was sitting there one day, all of a sudden the SWAT team shows up. Now this business was in the retail section of an apartment building. And someone on the 13th floor had a warrant out for their arrest. Everyone was evacuated from the building but me.
Why not? You're just not important enough to evacuate?
Was not. I had two client dogs in the salon with me. I'm texting my boss. I'm freaking out. There's SWAT team outside. People
Oh,
standing
God.
in the middle of the street in Tacoma.
In
Tacoma.
Tacoma.
In Tacoma. Uh-huh. And guns don't intimidate me, but when you're in full body armor, shield, everything,
Yeah.
after it's all said and done, I stepped out and they're like, oh, we didn't know there was somebody down there. I'm like, really?
Like,
You
thanks.
saw the lights on.
Like, looks like you need to do your job a
You
little more
heard
comfortably.
dogs barking.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, you know, bullets can travel. You are on the 13th floor. What is the likelihood of a bullet going that far down?
That's true.
And yeah, I was probably safe for a
Still, still, it's
but
the
still the
principle
same.
of the matter.
I started looking for another job or finding a way out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I realized that some of my clients were getting old
Hmm.
and car rides were no longer fun for them.
Yeah.
And I started looking into a mobile groomer.
Yay.
So it took me long enough. I think I was there, 3 years.
Hmm.
When I started my process of wanting to be mobile, I knew I had to make a workplace change. Instead of
Right.
driving an hour to work,
Yeah.
I needed something closer. So I messaged a local pet shop, and they were actually hiring.
Hmm.
So yeah, within 3 weeks, I had a new job.
Yeah.
Sadly enough, when I had told my former boss, hey, I have a new job, I can work. I was working for her part time, and I was going to take this other job part time,
Yeah.
have like a day off in between. There was no competition between the two. One's Tacoma, one right by my house, just down the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not.
I
Yeah.
get this, I get this text from my former boss. Grab your shit and leave.
Okay. What
Okay,
changed?
that is interesting. And I was like, okay. I had quite a few clients I had built a repertoire with. They had my
Yeah.
personal number. I was like,
So you
okay,
could be like, hey, by the
hey,
way.
this. Mhm. There was a couple I didn't have my number, but they
Mhm.
found me out through other people.
Okay.
Um, yeah, she tried to blame me for a dog's death in her care.
Oh, shit. When she found out you took another job?
It was a couple months later.
Oh, after you were gone?
After I was gone,
What?
she blamed me for a dog that escaped her salon and got killed 3 miles away.
Oh, that's right. And this happened after you were gone.
After I was gone.
After she told you to grab your shit and get out.
Yep,
You
I was
somehow came back and made a dog escape and die.
correct.
How
Because
dare. How
oh
very
my
dare.
God, there was a baby gate that was set up in front of the door. So when
Yeah.
you open the door, you go through the baby
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
gate to step in the salon, close the baby gate, close the door.
Yeah.
Well, to get no, it's not my place to put it back. He didn't put it back for a couple weeks. Within that time, the dog had escaped.
So that sounds like a her problem, but she doesn't want to take the responsibility.
I I will say I was mean when I heard this. I reached out to that owner
Mm-hmm.
because some lady forgot that I was admin on her Facebook page for her business.
Oh,
And I found out somehow, I don't remember how I found out who this person was. I reached out to him. I'm like, I'm terribly sorry what happened. And we communicated. She said it was all your fault that you had to leave early that day. And the dog slipped out when you left. I go, hang on, honey. I haven't been there. I left in September. This is November. She's
I
like,
have the receipts.
my
Like,
dog's haircut never looked the same. I'm like,
yeah.
huh? And ironically enough, I said, this isn't the first time this has happened. She's like, what are you talking about? And I filled her in.
Yeah.
Because this gal had two salons, and at her other salon, a dog had escaped. It was a Pomeranian. It too got hit by a car and required over $5,000 worth of surgery to repair its hip. And
Wow.
she had different business insurance at that time, and I knew exactly what insurance she carried.
Uh-oh.
I turned that over to that client.
Oh, Amanda, you shit stirrer, you.
oh.
I was like, okay, you told me to get my shit
Yeah.
and leave before my 2 weeks was up if I wanted to take this job full time. Granted, I was going to work for you for part time until you found somebody to take my place.
Right.
Come to find out, she was accepting dogs at that location, taking them to her other salon, and then bringing them back and then releasing them.
What?
Doesn't make sense.
No.
Wow.
That just seems like a lot of extra work.
And liability.
Yes, indeed.
As you could tell, a dog escaped and got killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was happy. I called the other job that I was going to do part time. I said, I know you offered me either full time or part time. I was going to do part time, but guess what? I just technically got fired from this other job, and I could go full time. And ironically, I had walked in and said that, and Jan, one of the team leads there, looked at me, and she's like, "Oh, just take a 2-week break, then come on in, and we'll do the full time paperwork." I'm like, "Sweet." I go, meantime, I get a 2-week vacation,
there you
not
go.
paid, which sucked, but
yeah,
I got to get my shit together and a breather.
Yeah.
The drama that went on, which was super nice. Because at that time we had just moved into this house.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. Worked for them for a couple years. They already knew what my plan was to go mobile, and it took me under their wing and showed me the ropes on business end, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then I started taking night classes for business at a local community.
Nice.
And that was fun.
Yeah.
There was maybe 4 or 5 people in those classes.
Yeah.
But it was a great learning opportunity to work the sales floor, and so I was thinking about doing retail, but
Right.
my heart was in grooming with pets.
Yeah. Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah. So 20 years later, I'm still grooming.
Yeah. With a
And
very, I add, because I was in her area for 2 years, a very successful mobile grooming business with a wait list down the street. Like, Mhm.
I still get people, how can I be on your wait list? I'm like, yeah, but I'm gonna let you know I rarely fill a spot,
Yeah, like,
and
and it's like very deep, like hundreds deep. Like you're,
yeah, no one cancels on my book unless
yeah.
it's an absolutely emergency.
Like the only way new people got in is when they came directly from Meg. So,
Yeah, or
well, I know you
I
took a
will say
couple. Yeah,
if it's a neighbor to a client, then I'm already there,
right.
which was rare. But made sense. I'm there. I can make a little extra money, stay a little an
Exactly.
hour late.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how it works. Or if you had an Australian Shepherd, I'd take your heart.
Aw.
I'd take that heart in.
Like I got room for all the Aussies.
Uh, yeah, I had a couple people that were stalking my Instagram and Facebook, and as soon as they saw I post a pet passing,
Yeah.
like, do you have a spot for me now? I was like, dude, can you
Oh
let
my
the dog rest
God.
in peace first?
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, I was like, it's kind of like you had a family member die in your,
Yeah. I love that. They're like, oh, there's a spot that just emptied.
and then I'd be like, unfortunately, I only fill those spots with the same people on the same route, and
Yeah.
you're not in the same route. And even if they were, that right there would tell me, yeah, I don't want you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if something happens in my family, you're gonna be like, when can you get me in?
Yeah.
Nope, nope, nope,
Yeah.
nope. So being
Like thanks,
super
but no
busy,
thanks.
yeah, being super busy
Yeah.
and being popular, I got to be really picky on
Yeah, you did.
I who I accepted in. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and pass on what I didn't want to.
Yes. Unless, of course, those other people didn't take them and then you took them on anyways because you felt bad. But
I
that's
like I took on special needs clients though.
okay. Yeah.
Those are my
Weakness.
favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, those babies. You tell me you got an 8-week-old puppy. I'm there.
Yeah.
I
You tell
love.
me when I am there.
I mean, I love training those little babies every 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, and
Mm-hmm.
get them set for life, and then
Yeah.
ship them off to the next person. Hopefully, it doesn't get destroyed.
Oh,
Um, or like my favorite Maisie,
yeah.
a Labradoodle. Um, she was afraid of vehicles.
Oh.
Oh.
And then you gotta she's gotta go in a vehicle. Poor babe.
Well, her backstory was her owners purchased her from a breeder in Spokane. So instead of them driving over to Spokane to get the dog, they brought the dog over. And when they got the puppy, they discovered it had been in a crate that was sliding around the back of the SUV. And she was extremely car sick.
Oh.
And she never really got over it.
Yeah.
So she had gotten a second doodle, and she's like, I'm really bad. This is different hair than what I have already. I think you're just going to have to start over. I don't want you to have to put my puppy in misery. So
Hmm.
I went and I saw her new golden doodle, who was 8 months old, never been groomed. Summertime, I shaved him naked.
Yeah.
And then she goes, I have a question for you. Would you be interested in working with
Yeah.
second dog. And I looked at her. I'm like, well, I'm just starting out mobile. I'm not that busy. I have time. I would go out there every 2 weeks,
Aw.
sit in my shuttle bus that I had,
Yes.
and I would feed her treats, just sitting on the steps.
Yeah.
I'd sit there for 20 minutes until she would get a little closer, a little closer.
Yeah.
One day I drove and it was running day for Mr. Tubby. And the gate opened, dogs escaped from the house and started running towards the road. I was like, oh crap. I opened the door and both dogs jumped in,
Aw.
closed the door, drove down the driveway, and both parents were standing there with their mouth open. Mom's crying. She's like, you did it. She got in. This is the first
Yeah.
time she ever got in. And so I left the door open the whole time I groomed Tug, and she just stayed there. She just hung out and
Aw.
she stayed on it. Like, okay, so we can break it down to every 6 weeks now instead of every 2 weeks. She got
Yeah.
it in.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I was done, Tug left. She kept walking in and out of the shuttle bus.
Aw.
I was like,
Like no big thing.
no big thing. But yeah, we slowly worked Maisie into grooming process. Terrified of the table moving. She always was. I never could get her over it. So,
Yeah.
and she was too big to lift into a tub and for me to get her out.
Yeah.
So Mom's like, I've got horses. I'll just bathe her. I was like, okay. She
Yeah.
literally had a wash rack. It had warm and cold water. So she'd wash Maisie.
Yeah.
There. And then I would just do the rest.
Yeah.
But they moved to Texas. My heart is gone. I miss them. But I've got a new Maisie dog. I call it new Maisie dog. His name is Rudy.
Yeah. Yep. Ones that need a
And
little extra.
yep, he needs a little extra. And for the first time when I saw him 2 weeks ago, he accepted the table to rise, walked into the tub, and got a bath.
Oh.
It took, I'd say the second time I arrived to that house, it took him 20 minutes to get into the rig.
Yeah.
I would sit on the floor and I would talk to him. First time I went, Mom just kind of sneaked him in. I'm like, oh, let's not do that next time.
Right.
Let's let him decide he wants in.
Yeah.
Not food motivated and he's not treat motivated.
Aw.
So I just had to use that sweet sugar baby voice.
Yes.
He put a paw up. Then he would back off, put that paw up. I was like, oh, dude, it's a good thing you're the last one of the day. I'm like, patience, patience, patience. And it finally paid off. The last time I said, 2 minutes, up and in, close the door. He's like, okay, now what? I'm like, we made it.
Like no big thing.
I'm like, graduated. So I told Mom, I'm like, okay, so we graduated.
Yep.
Do we want to go every 4 or 6 weeks? I like you coming out every 2
Aw.
weeks.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going in his head. He has to have this done every 2 weeks. Just 3
Aw.
weeks is pushing it, but we'll accept that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Rudy,
Yeah.
yeah. Just take practice. And patience. Those are my heart docs.
Yeah.
I love those patient testers. They're fun.
Button pushers.
Button pushers? No. Yeah, button pushers. You just gotta coax them and let them know it's their idea, not yours.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that being said, that's been a wonderful just encompassing story of how you've gotten into grooming and the different like venues and methods you've done. I'm super curious. Well, I already know, but you guys, you already know that Amanda offers coaching. We're going to talk about how she got to that decision of pivoting into coaching. But first, let's listen to a message from one of our sponsors. And we're back.
We're back. Amanda has to unmute herself.
Luckily,
There
I have
we
a
are.
touch screen.
We're back. Yay. Anyways, okay, so before the break, I had mentioned that Amanda has pivoted into coaching, which you guys would know this if you've ever listened to any of our episodes or live streams, because she is our very, very important to us and cherished sponsor. So Amanda, do you remember the point in time that you were like, I could teach people this for a living?
Oh gosh, I would have to say probably like a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
It was toying around in my head. I knew how much I struggled when I started
Mm-hmm.
my business. Things I did wrong that I wish I knew. I didn't know a lot of other groomers in the area. Petco back then didn't let you or didn't encourage you to socialize with people outside
Yeah.
your little niche. But when I left them and went to private, then I realized there's a whole new world out there. It basically just came down to I'm getting older. My body's not going to be able to handle this.
Mm-hmm.
I need kind of an exit point where I can still maybe do some of the stuff I love, but
Right.
also have the next person not have to do those struggles like I did. If I would have known then what I know now, I would be in a much better state.
Yeah.
And so I would like to help other people do the same. Get them started off better than I did.
Right.
So,
And then Positive Approach Coaching was born.
yes, it was. I had to come up with a name that still said the industry. So
Right. Which also, if you guys didn't put two and two together there, Positive is PAWSITIVE. Positive. So that way, it shows. I like it a lot because it's a nod to the grooming industry still, or the pet professional industry overall.
Mhm.
And just like Amanda is such a positive person, but don't get me wrong, she doesn't sugarcoat stuff either, but I feel like that's very important in coaching because you're paying for her time and her experience and her advice. You don't want her to just be like, "Oh, you're fine." You're not paying for that.
Yeah.
I mean, don't go Gordon Ramsay and slap two pieces of bread around their head and call them an idiot sandwich.
There were
Yes.
times at my last job, yes. Yeah, my last job, there was things I I would have to say probably looking back, my last job probably started a little bit of that in the back of my head of doing coaching because their salon was just a shithole.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
See, not
shithole.
sugarcoating. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. And I will have to say, I was a little, not a little, kind of tough on the owners.
Yeah.
Yes, they already had a groomer there before I came on, but there was generally mistakes that she wasn't helped corrected. Yes,
Yeah.
she had Asperger's and autism and other things,
Mhm.
but pointed out or taught in a different manner could have helped her become something better.
Right.
Mhm.
She needed help talking with clients.
Yeah.
All she would do is look at the card, say, same as last time, take the dog, and move on. That was it. There was no other communication. She didn't know how to be personalized with
Right.
each one. It was just almost like assembly line, just grab it, go, take off.
Yeah.
Her cleaning was not there. It was
Mhm.
left for the night evening crew of the store to do.
Right.
So this place had a retail section and a grooming.
Right.
Now, people at night had to come in and clean the grooming salon, which is not their job.
No.
My first week there, I ended up pulling the kennels off the wall and cleaning all back there, clean the
Yeah.
wall, clean the floor, and then looked back and was like, I didn't realize it was this dirty. I was like,
Probably
how could
don't
not?
move it. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, well, we didn't realize these kennels can be moved forward. I'm like, there's a lot of piss under these kennels.
Like this is dog hair, folks.
Like,
Like it's gonna be
please
everywhere.
don't. And, you know, especially one time I was there was a 260 some pound Saint Bernard named Tractor. Uh-huh. And let's just say he was shedding.
Oh, I bet he was. That's
And
a lot of hair.
And I will say that salon is about as big as my office right now. So about 10 by 12.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a
So he
lot
took
of
up like a
hair.
quarter of the space.
And I will tell you, this dog, correct. And this dog
Yeah.
didn't fit in any kennel, not even the extra large. So,
Oh,
and it took two of us to lift him into the tub because he was too long to navigate the stairs properly because he would have to turn and walk up.
yeah.
So, yeah. His head was the size of a human head.
Oh.
Like another employee. Yeah. It was huge. I was like, there's a picture of us somewhere if you're to go through my photos on Facebook of the two of us. And you see the St. Bernard head between us, and you're like, damn, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
that is why I made sure to have a floor bath put in, even though I
Yeah.
use it very little.
For those handful of dogs
And Meg's.
and Meg's. Because if you didn't know,
exactly.
while I was camping in her backyard for a couple months, instead of just asking to go upstairs into the living area and use the shower, we just
Which
used
was totally okay, by the way. Like, I
totally
wasn't
fine. Yeah, no.
forcing
Like I was never, but it was just easier to just use the floor shower. And it was fun. I didn't have to knock into anything. Like there was so much space,
Hey,
you know,
why not?
and
It's fair.
and I can be trusted off leads. So like I didn't even have to hook myself to the wall.
Yeah.
And, you know, hold Joe's chin while you shave his face.
I do completely unintentionally. I'll go to grab his beard but either way, I'm trying to stop anyways because of Ashley Hanvey's class.
Yeah.
Don't grab the beard. But with Joe, he's like, I'm not moving, babe. Like, I'm not gonna move. I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
My bad.
I remember, I was trying to say, I was trimming someone's hair one time at the grooming salon before I started my business. And they put their neck to the loop and attached themselves. And it was like kind of comical. And people are like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm a dog.
Like safety first, man.
I'm like, hey, I'm on the table. I'm following proper procedures. I'm like, well, there's no room for some
I'm
foot
being
for
a
you.
good boy.
Exactly. I mean, come on. Why not have a little fun with what you have? It's not like I haven't washed my hair in my own tub in the grooming salon.
Right. Exactly.
Anal glands go the wrong direction. You don't want to be smelling that all day.
Yeah.
Put your head over the tub and rinse it off.
Well, and
Love
also at the same point, half the time I didn't want to do my hair in the floor bath. I don't know. So I'd like wash my head at Clover Pup, the salon I was working at. I would just get to work a little earlier and just smell like a good girl all day long.
You went a little earlier because that would be a shock if somebody walked in. Oh, there's a human in the
Well, I use the small dog tub, so I literally would just like stick my head in and
shower the whole thing.
and like put this little bit of hair up in a curled towel, but which has gotten so long though.
I was
Holy
like,
crap.
yeah. Steph, you didn't have cameras in your salon to catch this?
I
Really?
do, but I had it unplugged because Meg and Joe kept showering in there.
And no one needs to see it. No one needs to see it. Although if someone was walking by out front, and they looked hard enough, they definitely could have seen us, but I was about this far past caring. Also I can finally put it all up.
Yay.
So I get this at work now.
Oh, kind of like a troll. Remember the troll dolls?
Yeah. Remember the troll dolls? I've seen the movies. Like
I
I don't know if
forget
they're on
now.
2 or 3. I think they're on 3 now. But either way, yes. Yes,
Like,
indeed.
because I could say things that I remember as a kid, and people would be like, "What?" I was like, "Oh crap!" I just
No, I
aged
know the troll
myself.
dolls. I know the troll dolls.
Back in
So
the day, My Little Ponies had designs on both butt cheeks, and now they
is this that one effect? Is this a Mandela effect?
don't.
Because I never actually played with them, so I don't have any actual memories.
Oh dear God, I still have my first two.
But Berenstein was spelled with E-I-N at the end.
Correct.
I will die on
Correct.
What's wrong, Nibs?
this. But
We're
circling
aging
back,
ourselves.
we are. So circling back to positive approach coaching, what are some of the things you offer with that? So I know you've worked on a couple smaller classes, a big program, one-on-one, like what you got?
I
Tell us
actually have a couple one-on-ones I'm working on right now. One looking to make a little bit more profits, and another one looking to be mobile.
Nice.
So I'm almost finished with one. I'm about to dive deeply into the other. Basically, I can help you figure out what.
Oh, I was gonna say, will you like proofreading /
I do proofread.
reformatting? Because if you do, just let me know.
Meg really wants to proofread.
I do as best as I can. If I'm having trouble seeing that something's not worded
Mhm.
right, I'll pass it on to my friend Meg and be like, I'm stumped. Can you help me with this? It's not feeling just quite right. And then usually it's just like a word or like, hey, you just need to.
It's just like a little,
It's great sometimes to outsource and basically kind of outsourcing for me.
Right.
Trying to build a business. But starting a business is kind of, for some people, is a reality check. Like, how much planning goes into starting one?
Right.
Like, health department codes like we have here in Washington is crazy. Thank God it's not all over the place in other towns and cities. Because that's what I dive into when you hire me. I dig into what your city and state
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Because you have to follow all those local county
Mhm.
bullshit.
And government shit is never easy.
Oh dear God, no. That's why I hire accountant and bookkeeping to
Yeah.
do this for me. But and I still do my own because I like to have know what my numbers are. And if I'm a little off, at least my accountant can correct me on that. But I know what's going in and out. And I think that's important for every business owner to know, even if you outsource, to know where you stand as your numbers.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I will help you with. Also, here, help you figure out what you should be charging. Finding your
This
niches.
is important.
Everyone has something different. Whether it's senior dogs, puppies, something in between, small dogs, large dogs. Whether you want to be a cat groomer.
Yeah.
Because there's many out there that are just specifically for cats or specifically for dogs or a little bit in between.
Yeah.
One I'm doing right now. What I was looking at doing. They were thinking they need to make a large number a day, and it was not realistic. So,
oh yeah, no, it was like, oh God, what was that?
10,000 a day.
Was it a day or was that what she thought she'd make in a week?
No, a week. Thank you.
10,000 in a week. We did the math. If she were grooming like, what was it? I think we did like 8 or 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. She'd still have to charge like $500 or $700 a dog. I don't remember. It was a lot.
It was a lot, and for her area, the average cost of living was just about 300 or 30,000 a year. So I look into what your area is doing for annually, and I can help you figure out what your state charges for taxes.
I totally just heard anally instead of annually. And I'm like, wow.
No.
No, you need to know what your state charges annually, obviously.
I mean, because,
I mean, it's basically.
It's a good number to know.
Yeah.
Exactly. So also income tax, some states have it, some states don't. And depending on, like Tennessee is 15.3 income tax percent. So figuring that out, if you're paying yourself, you got to figure out how much your actual payment to yourself is after tax. So you can price yourself. And even though you are paying yourself, you got to figure out the right percentage to pay yourself, not like half of what you're bringing in, because you still have your expenses of gas, maintenance, grooming supplies, etc.
And then also just like saving for the future.
Alcohol.
Like if you want to take 2 vacations, that's money that needs to go to the side. Like all of that is expenses.
Yeah. And then also figuring out if you do 6 dogs a day for 8 hours, or are they all small, or are they small and big, or are they all big? Kind of like what your numbers will look like. I would love to show you something, but it's not I'll have a mock-up one for next time if we do this.
Oh, there you go.
Nice quote. I don't want to give out a client's information. But for me,
well, also if you make one, we can always comment it when I post this episode in the group. We can always put it underneath.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so no rush on that because this will be another week or so.
Okay. Yeah, I could do that so you can kind of get an idea.
Yeah.
I love numbers.
Yeah.
I hated math especially algebra. I can
Yeah.
figure out the problem, but not write it.
Mhm.
But I love doing this, and especially is algebra, figuring out the formula, what you need to set aside for different things, and how much things are going to cost you monthly
Right.
and yearly total. So you can see if what percentages you need to stay in by paying yourself
Yeah.
and have business still make a profit. So
Right.
you don't want to pay yourself more than what your expenses are.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need to balance that a little bit,
Yeah.
make more profit, less expenses.
Right.
So, and everything. And with some people, if they're doing mobile, I will do Washington gas prices because
Mm.
they're one of the highest.
Yes.
And I will round it up. If it's like 415, I'll say 450.
Yeah.
Just because you're gonna fluctuate anywhere and everywhere. So I see when I make that number, I always tell them that this is based on Washington prices.
Yeah.
And yes, you could, this isn't going to be exact.
No.
This
Yeah.
is going to be something different. And I also
Better to
had
overestimate than underestimate.
Mhm.
be surprised to have that extra money at the end of
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah.
I can put that into one of those funds,
Mhm.
and I also tell people should have a savings account, a disaster account, um, a retirement account.
Mhm. Mhm.
Never too early to start those.
Nope.
And then I try to help them figure out how much you should put away each month to build up on that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, yeah. I stepped out of the grooming boundaries of
Mhm.
coaching
You did. You did.
in July when I went to my brother's in Albuquerque and helped him figure out a business plan for his business.
Mhm.
So, what was supposed to be a vacation ended up being
Oh,
like,
you enjoyed yourself.
oh, I did. I mean, it was like 95 degrees out. It was amazing. I love the heat. But it's a different heat than Washington.
It's heat. I literally laid down in a pile of dead leaves today because I was so happy at how cold it was.
My body likes the heat. I'm getting old. My bones don't like the cold.
Gosh, you're like 29. Be quiet.
Oh, I wish. Thank you. I did get I did get carded at the bar the other day. I looked
Oh,
at the gal, I was like, really? You're gonna card me? I'm like, you're gonna laugh. Handed over my ID and she was like, okay. I was like,
you're like, thanks. Thank you.
I'm like, I come here at least every other week on Friday. You guys should know me by now. I'm more than
Yeah.
alcoholic drink. But I guess sometimes it depends on who I'm with. If I'm with my husband, I look way younger.
When I'm with Joe, well, also I don't really have any current or even recent real life experience because I don't drink. But like when I did have the occasional drink, if I was with Joe, I was never carded.
Hmm.
Because Joe looks older.
Joe looks old, yeah.
Yeah.
Older, sorry, older.
Well, Mark looks older, and I still get carded. But if I'm with a friend who's similar in age, I don't get carded. I'm
Huh.
like, okay, apples, oranges. Come on,
Right,
let's go.
right.
Yeah.
Like,
Everybody always thinks I'm younger than I am too.
Yeah.
I think it's the era of genetics that we hit.
Mhm.
If we're 80s, 90s kids.
Well, and my genetics really fucked me up in other ways, but I've got good skin. I've got good hair. Like,
That counts.
rest of me, not so much.
One thing my grandma told me growing up, she goes, I only wore lipstick because my mom told me the more makeup I wore, the more wrinkles I would get and the older I would look. And so I kind of like, this is me in my natural state. I rarely wear makeup.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe once a month if you're lucky. But I'm gonna just follow my grandma's rules. She lived to be 80 and she looked like she was late 50s, early 60s. Hey, it worked for her. It should work for us.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just
Maybe
different.
that's why we all have such beautiful baby faces. Because I don't wear makeup either.
I was gonna say, and like I still have like a lot of acne scarring and stuff, and my face is redder than I'd like. But I literally had this older lady at Ulta tell me I had such good skin. And like she wishes she had my skin, which is a little creepy this night. But
But it's at Ulta. It's a little less creepy.
yeah, but I'm like, you want me to like peel it? Like, here you go. Here's my skin. But I just had
Let's
never
see what
been
you
told,
and figure out what this.
I had just never been told I had good skin.
Yeah.
And then when I was getting my neck tattoo done by Stephanie's tattoo artist, whose name that I forget,
Mark.
Mark. He also said I had good skin because it was taking the ink, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, side note, and a little like foreshadowing to our next episode, Joe literally had to remind me I had a neck tattoo today. The amount of times I fucking forget about it because I never see it. I can't feel it.
Yep.
Just
My,
gone.
I
my
forget it too.
yeah, my back is done and I don't always remember that it's done.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that was like, you know, I had no cream, you guys. I'm not one of those people who has to use the numbing cream. I
I
I
didn't
stuck that
either.
bit
I don't
up.
fault anyone who
I mean,
has.
that's fine. And that,
Yeah.
huh?
I
You
said
didn't have to?
I didn't use it. I don't fault anyone who does though, because poor Joe had to on his shin. He had a ton of scar tissue.
Oof.
But yeah.
I would say the hardest part about my back would have been the hummingbird beak because it's right at the base of the neck
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
that. Ooh, I so badly wanted to tap out, and I just sat there.
Oh,
Like, just get it done and over with. But and then my side
hurry
wasn't
up.
too
But
bad.
don't go too fast. Be particular about it, but hurry up.
Yeah. I've started using numbing cream when I get my sleeve work done, but that's because I do 7-hour sessions.
Yeah, I think if I was to do that, might. But
Yeah.
my back worked up into like 4 sessions.
Yeah. I will say though, the one
Part
on
of it was a
my
little bit
neck
of a
was
cover up from my hair.
probably the most painful.
The neck?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I feel like a badass, man.
I have my foot tattooed. Do you remember
Yeah.
seeing it, Meg?
Yeah.
When that goes, okay. That was my second ever tattoo having done.
Yeah.
Why I thought my foot was a great idea, I don't know. I will say my leg cramped up, my toes were like cramping as going across the top of my foot. It's just like, ooh, my cousin's daughter's taking a picture of the faces I was making as he's pinking my foot. I said, dear God, don't put that on Facebook. She did. Okay.
We've gotten
Really,
slightly off topic here. So you've shown us how you've pivoted and told us about what you offer with positive approach coaching. So we'll get into kind of your neurodivergencies when we come back. But first, let's take a second to listen to a message from one of our sponsors. I know I could probably just be like, but I have to do just the complete calm and then so
Make life
we're back.
interesting. Make life interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so of course we are a podcast and a Facebook support group if you're not already in there. Um Dealing all with different neurodivergencies in the grooming industry. So, Amanda, could you tell us about what your neurodivergencies are, as little or as much as you want to say?
Oh gosh. So growing up, um, and now as an adult, I realize a few things about myself.
Uh-huh.
But growing up, I was scored like 1 point too high on the scale of being dyslexic.
Okay.
But as everybody knows, when you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day. And I just happened to be having a really good day when I was getting tested.
Yeah.
So of course my scale was high.
Yeah.
It made I was probably about 7 years old before I could actually say Carmichael.
Aw. Aw.
And actually see a word like that, say it
Yeah.
once and then say it again, because my brain would not connect saying it a second time. But it took until about 7, 8 to realize that. And then
Yeah.
things started to fall in place. Math was hardest because I would see numbers backwards. I would look at a number and I would write it backwards.
Yeah.
And there was times when I would be so frustrated and I would cry. And I still do that today. I don't cry, but I just walk away, come back, work, finish the project. I just had to do that before getting on here. I realized I mixed up some numbers and had to sit there and recalculate all these numbers again. Put them in the right order. I was like, yeah, this should have been here and here and here and here and here and here. And forward, backwards. It made life kind of a living hell. I found out as I got older, my best friend, whom you met, Meg, Monique.
Monique, yep.
Yeah. She's awesome. She's a badass mom, biggest heart, another sister from another mister.
So she's our sister as well.
Yeah.
I've never met her, but she's our sister now.
We met working together at Petco. So that our friendship goes far back. She has my back because I was the biggest pushover. So that was part of my I was willing to do anything and everything to kiss everyone. I think when I hit 30, I was done kissing ass and I started taking names.
Right.
And that was part of the dyslexia. It's tough.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. Part of my dyslexia. Sorry. Where were we?
That's okay. Just talking about, neurodivergencies and then how it you can talk about how that related to grooming for you, like how that not messed up, but how you struggled with that during grooming and then if you found a way to overcome it.
So one of the things Monique helped me point out, her son is autistic and has a sensory disorder. And when I was describing her one day, some of the things that I didn't like growing up and I still don't like food, different textures, she's like, you have a sensory disorder. You are not as bad as my son, but you do have this. I'm like, well, that kind of explains a lot. And even with pet coats, I can feel it. And it was super hard to train myself how to know the product to make it feel in my fingers what it needs to feel.
Right.
And some of the grossness I had to get over.
Yeah.
What one person would say is gross or wasn't gross was super gross to me, and I just couldn't handle it. I had to ease into, I can do this and not be creeped out. Now I can handle just about anything but my feet. I'm triggered with different things on my feet. I walk barefoot a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I don't wear socks, so I need to feel. Except right now I'm wearing socks. I'm lying. I have hardwood floors and they're cold.
So when necessity breeds it, like it's okay.
Yes. So, and I think as an adult, I've kind of had to learn like what is okay to pull myself out of. One of the hardest things I have is concerts.
Mm.
As an adult, the flashing lights, the crowds, I hate crowds, but I will tolerate it for a concert. It has to be a reward in there for me to deal with. And I think as a kid, I really wasn't in big crowds,
Yeah.
and I shied away from that. Being that shy person in the corner, I think running my own business and probably about my third grooming salon I was at, I finally had to force myself to be in the public eye, voice my opinion, and not be shocked with the response I get back.
Right.
So that was the hardest part for me, and not cry. I was super sensitive and emotional. And now I'm just like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the truth. I think don't sugarcoat it, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it back to you.
Yeah.
And I know some people say, try to sugarcoat to me, and I'm like, tell me what it is. Tell me what it is.
Right.
Tell my feelings.
Right.
I want to cut that out. So that's how I've learned how to deal with it.
Nice. Teach
And
us ways.
and oddly enough, when I work on dogs, I have music going on in my rig. I have audiobooks or movies going on in my ears. And I'm also paying attention to what's going around me. And I think, thanks to my dyslexia, I can concentrate on 3 different things at once. Not everybody can handle that. And then when I'm working here on my computer, TV's going, dogs are yapping. Luckily, they're sleeping right now. I'm down below me. But I find the more noise that's around me, the easier it is for me to concentrate versus that.
Interesting.
I'm the same way. It has to be controlled noise. Like it has to be like music or audiobooks, but like I can't do anything on the computer unless I have TV playing in the background.
Exactly. That's right now I have True Blood just sitting on my TV in my office, just like on pause.
Yep.
That's probably why I love gory movies and true stories. How to hide a body, how not to hide a body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
it's useful information, man.
Or oddly enough, I think thanks to my dyslexia, I think of how stupid some of these criminals are and what I would have done differently if I was that criminal. Not that I would do it, but I mean, like,
like this is where they went wrong.
You dumbass.
And my worst movies I hate is when the damsel in distress is screaming. I'm like, come on, dude. Don't be a pussy. I hate movies. Maybe why I don't watch Scream and Jeepers Creepers. I'm like, just kill the bastard.
Yeah.
It's just but you know, give me a true crime. I'm those all day long.
Oh my gosh.
So that's me in a nutshell. Literally, in a nutshell.
Are you saying you're nuts, Amanda?
Oh, we all are in some way.
Why do you
We're
think we get along
sisters. Of
so
course,
well?
we're all nuts.
Like, why do you think we vibe? Like, I just want to take a little trip down memory lane here because it got me in my feels this morning seeing that picture in my memory, which means over the next couple of days, I'm going to see a lot of memories from that trip.
Oh my gosh, I love that one. I love it.
Well, because I feel like we made the best out of a not awesome situation and made it awesome.
Oh, it was shitty. It was shitty to start with.
Yeah.
And thanks
Yes.
to Joe kind of coming into the rescue was kind of nice, but we made the best of it. And even I was coming off an accident, which has been a
That's
year now.
right. Yes.
And yeah, I ran my mouth off on that one too. You remember?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, trust me. I don't not a I, that is not something I forget.
Meg shut me up, and I'm like, yeah.
Maybe okay, we can tell Stephanie when we're done recording. Just because this specifically I don't want on here. Sorry guys, you're gonna miss out. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. You have to be there to know.
Yes. But no, so I'm excited for like our chicken nugget posts of the bats. Like the bats in this one cave we went to were the chicken nuggies.
I want chicken nuggets for dinner. Not bats. Not bats.
No, not those chicken nuggies. And of course, now is the time of year where like I see all of the bat posts and I'm just like, sky puppies.
And all the amazing places we ate.
Yes. Oh well, because Foxhole came up. Oh my gosh. That let me just to paint a picture for you, Stephanie.
What?
Just to paint a picture for you, I'm going to read my post. Okay. We had some amazing and tasty food at a local small business right down the road from our first hotel because we stayed in Austin first and then drove to where the retreat was. Tempura green beans, pretzels with 3 dipping sauces, house burger with beef 3 ways, and a venison grilled cheese with burrata. It was phenomenal. I don't know. It was back when I was actually on it doing my Instagram story, so I actually took pictures of the food. I don't know if like
literally making my mouth water. That looks delicious.
This was the venison grilled cheese.
Yeah, that's
Amanda's burger.
Oh.
It was brisket, pulled pork, brisket pork, and sirloin mix, I believe.
Aw. Yeah. Sorry, if you guys want to see,
my shirt matched your hair that day.
Yes. If you guys want to see the delectable pictures of the food, you'll have to go to the YouTube video. And if you're already here, hi Nicole. Thanks. Because I know specifically Nicole watches the YouTube, not listens to the podcast. So.
And 2, you got the biggest kick out of the free breakfast there because they had a Texas waffle maker.
That's right. So at that Austin,
and you were bummed it wasn't at the next one.
Like literally their waffle maker for the breakfast is like the shape of Texas, bigger than my head.
That's amazing.
So of course I made it and didn't eat it all because I was a lot of waffle and I got other things, but like still I was like, are these at all the states? They're not. It's a Texas thing.
Yeah, it was just that one spot though too.
Yeah.
But
ever since COVID, the waffle maker at hotel breakfast has gone to the past, and it's so upsetting. I very seldomly see them, and they're like my favorite thing.
Yeah, it will, because you can't screw up a waffle.
Yeah,
especially when it's like pre-mixed, pre-measured batter and
yep.
Yeah, it's one of those foods that you can use it with your fingers and just walk away playing. I mean, at least I do.
Yeah,
slap some peanut butter on it and let it go. Oh, I made Meg hungry.
Well, because I still want to go to IHOP and get the scary face pancake just to have the scary face pancake.
Ooh, yummy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've not been
Yeah.
doing so great on the limiting my sugar, by the way. The bottle has 99 grams of sugar in it.
Wow.
Ooh.
Damn high.
Yeah.
But anyways, let us take a break and we will listen to the last message from our last sponsor. I did it again. Why do I do that? The last break from the last message from the last sponsor. Anyways, it's the last one. Let's do it. I love it because first of all, we're back. But Stephanie was just like checking with me and like, are we ready to be crazy? Like, are we there? And I'm like, yeah, we're here.
I was actually the whole time, every time you guys would look away, I'd make a face.
And I'm gonna have to watch it back now. Like, how long can I get away with this without them noticing?
Yeah. You caught the last one just as you were about to do it.
Oh, yep. I was like, oh, perfect timing. So anyways, there you go. That now we're all three in it.
Yep.
So let's see. We've talked about your grooming journey, your pivot to coaching and your coaching business, neurodivergencies and how you've adapted to that. So really this last one's kind of a free for all. Let's see. Why don't you, well, here. Do you have dogs, Amanda? Tell us about your fur babies.
I do. Let's see.
Let me see Tupac.
This is to party.
Tupac.
Hi, Tupac.
Sloan. Yes. She's a Coton.
A Coton.
Yes. Mom. This is how evil I am.
Oh no.
This dog. If I was to clear the houses and the apartments behind my house, her house is directly behind here.
Okay.
Anyway, I used to go here once a month. Mom sold her house, moved to Tacoma, and just started with her. But Mom used to have me leave her head untouched.
Not even the eye corners?
Well, the eye corners, but
okay, but like a big old bell head, like
yes. And the longer I can keep her, the better.
Did she maintain her coat?
Wow. Not really. And Mom's a chain smoker.
Oh.
So, yeah. But Mom had asked me a couple years ago, if anything was to happen to me, will you take my dog? And now she's not in a great living situation, so she's on borrow with me in a safe spot. As soon as I got her, I shaved her down.
Yeah.
And took everything off her face, joined her ears. There was some knots already in there.
And like, I'm not maintaining all this coat.
And I gave her like 3 or 4 baths just so I don't smell the cigarette.
Yeah.
I don't smell it now. I might be used to it. But I took a picture and I sent it to Mom, and I kind of lied.
Oh,
no. Ralph took her in the back of the house where all the blackberry vines and stuff were, and she was covered, and I had to And she's like, that's the cutest she's ever looked. I was like,
if you only had just let me do this.
Trust me, like my clients trust me.
Like I'm the professional, damn it.
Yeah, and this dog has never been outside to pee. Always used pee pads.
And now she has a whole yard.
She goes outside. She still has a pee pad down, but she never wear collars. I make her wear one. And it has her name and my number on it. So she's a runner. So she goes, yeah, she'll be coming back to me. And then my two permanent assholes in the house. We all know Ralph.
Yes, Ralph.
Ralph was my dream Australian Shepherd.
Yeah.
He's the biggest pain in the ass. I always wanted a red or chocolate merle. Aussie with blue eyes. He's got one blue eye. We're there.
Yeah.
He was the most unfriendly dog ever until COVID hit. Then he had to depend on me.
Yeah.
Even though we socialized him, he never liked being touched.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
I could groom him. We had to catch him in order to do something with him, which sucked. I'm like, why are you like this? Bad rating. Bad rating. COVID hit. I was stuck home. He was stuck with me. And I found out he's afraid of garbage trucks.
Oh.
And how I found out is COVID. I was stuck at home. He body slammed me to protect him from the noise. So now he has this thing. Anytime you sit down, he will body slam you for love. And he realizes he's getting affection. So
yeah.
He's now like the friendliest thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we have Karma. Karma's actually. You know she's a bitch.
Oh, I know she's a bitch.
She for some reason
Karma does. Stephanie, I have not come across many dogs that actively don't like me. Karma does not like me.
Oh, wow.
Karma snarled at me. Karma, I swear, almost went for me.
Yeah.
First visit.
Wow.
It was
Karma's a pit doodle.
Yeah.
Karma's a big dog.
Think of an Irish wolfhound. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what she looks
a little
like.
shorter, a little fatter, but basically the same hair.
Yeah.
It's
kind of cute. Like she gets all scruffy in the face. And
now I kind of want to see pictures because I feel like she looks like similar to Addison then.
Right now her
not quite, but similar.
Face is shaped. Yeah. I shave her face like a poodle because my husband walk around and be like, "Got a pit bull." I'm like, can't say that, honey.
Yeah, you can't be going around saying that.
I mean, you can't say that on your homeowner's insurance. She's pit bull. You have to say poodle mix.
Poodle.
Yeah.
She's a poodle.
So she cut this really long nose, and I shave her face, and I love a smooth face on her. And I shave her with clean feet. Let her body go, even though this summer I had to take it all off because she got the itchies and needed multiple baths.
Yeah.
Normally I hand strip her, but he needed drastic change. But they came over to my house. That dog put herself between the two of us at my feet.
Wow.
I was like,
apparently my vibe wasn't good that day. I don't know. I've never unless it's like situational, like grooming, or if it's a freaking like cage aggressive dog or something.
Yeah.
But like to just have a random ass dog. Yeah, no, it's strange. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'm not for everybody, but
yeah.
Well, because as a baby, I would play in her mouth, pluck on her ears, pull her tail, play with her feet. Like if we ever have a little one, I want her to be okay with something crawling on the floor.
Yeah.
Hey, that proved to actually work when my friend brought her 8-month-old crawling around. She's laying on the floor, and the little one comes over and sticks her hand in her mouth as the dog's yawning, and the dog's mouth is frozen open because she's like, Mom, there's something in my mouth, and I can't close. But she was super gentle, so when she made that approach on you, I was shocked.
Yeah.
But at least I know if I go anywhere with her, she's going to be there protecting my.
Yeah, no, she's got you protected, but it just makes me not want to come to your house. Like, I love you, but I don't like that. So we'll meet elsewhere.
Yeah, so, and my dogs have this thing. If they don't listen to Mom, I do a 1, 2, and your ass doesn't want to wait for 3.
Yeah.
Mom yells.
Yeah.
Mom yells, and no one likes that. And to party talk is learning the role of 1, 2, 3.
Aw.
She's looking at me like, do I have to? I'm like, She's looking at me like, you already tortured me yesterday, putting color in my ears again.
Aw.
She really needed a bath, but it's gonna be rainy today.
There you
That's
go.
it's like washing your car and it raining.
Yep.
Zip tight.
I just realized I don't even have. I should really add.
These 2 are yours?
Yes. Yeah, so
I was stalking your Facebook a little.
My assholes.
She kind of does. She kind of looks like a big boned Addison.
Yeah, that's why I like a little fatter, a little wider.
Yeah, I mean, big head. She's just bigger. Like Addison is very dainty. Like
yes,
her build is very
definitely
dainty.
is more sight houndy.
Yeah.
Karma used to do flips for
Aw.
tennis balls.
Yeah.
We called it roofie. We'd take a chuck it, throw the ball, and let it bounce off the roof. She would jump up, do a flip with the ball in her mouth, and come down. But now that she's 9, we have stopped doing that for the last 2 years because getting older, her joints, and occasionally we'll throw it and let her run a couple times, but the next day she's moving kind of slow, and I'm like,
Yeah.
days are over. Poor girl.
Oh.
But Stephanie, you should find her baby pictures on Facebook. Stalk my Facebook photos and find her baby pictures. My favorite is one of her on her back in her bed. I call it drunk puppy.
Drunk puppy.
She is just passed out. Toys all around her. That's my favorite. Belly up, pink little baby belly up.
Oh my God. Is that her?
I don't know. Is that her?
Yes.
Is that?
Aw.
Yes. She's what, 3 months old, 4 months old in that one?
I don't know. I can't tell. But she's adorable.
Yeah, she was solid black as a baby. Now she's like a blue. She's the color of her mom now.
Yeah.
Her dad was a very big standard poodle. Solid black.
Yeah.
Okay, in case you don't know, I have 2 dogs wrestling here. So if you hear noises, it's Ralph and Tupac playing.
Aw.
Go out. Go.
That's okay. Now that we've gotten to kind of get a good, everyone's gotten a good insight into who Amanda is. If you have any questions for her, perhaps you can join us for a live stream at some point and live stream into the group. Yeah. So if you guys have questions for her, comment where you see this posted and we will do that. So I think that would be fun and something I should have thought about before, but that's okay. Amanda, you can be the first.
Yes. I also volunteer in between everything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you volunteer at a horse farm, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, that's as much as I work every day, that is my solitude where I can go
Yeah.
and muck out stalls and be thinking what I need to do next. And I also sort out numbers and different
Mhm.
things. It's
It's just
that
a good
method.
thinking. Yeah.
Yes, it keeps you from being burnt out. Granted, I'm gone 7 days a week, but it's that little break that gets me to do something else other than the dog industry. So I was
Right.
going to say pet industry, but
I mean, it's still the pet.
our
Yeah, it's an
pet.
animal industry.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an
Can't get away from it.
adorable little mini pony there named Cookie. She's freaking
Cookie.
cute with the tiniest little weenie. Oh my gosh, she's maybe about 2.5, 3 feet high.
Oh,
She's so cute.
the baby. I mean, not. I'm
Yeah.
sure she's fully grown, but still.
Oh yeah. And yeah. And another favorite of mine is a 22-year-old Casey. He's a Tennessee walking horse.
Mhm.
He's no longer rideable. I think he was rode too young because he's pretty swayed back.
Yeah.
Like his feet are like this.
Wow.
But he's so sweet and gentle. And I was throwing him the other day, and he's just like, you see his little lower lip just going this.
He's like, this is the life.
Yes. And his old man whiskers are just sitting there just scratching.
Yeah.
Just, some people are like, you're cleaning shit. I'm like, well, no, not really. Yeah, I am. But
Okay.
I'm getting to do something that was kind of passionate.
Also, though, too, people who say that, do they not understand that horse shit is not like dog shit
Oh no.
or people
I
shit?
mean,
Like they're herbivores. Like it's totally different.
yeah, and technically they use horse shit as fertilizer, so
Yeah.
they don't do it to a dog. I mean,
No.
your crap doesn't fertilize
Imagine a
my
whole.
yard.
Could you imagine a whole field smelling like dog shit?
Okay, Tupac here. She eats really cheap food when she got here and canned chicken every day. Well, we
Yeah.
stopped the canned chicken,
Yeah.
and she eats my dog's food. She no longer has smelly foods.
Oh, good. Yeah.
That
No,
was
it changes.
yeah. It was one thing like it was a smell I couldn't get rid of after I got her until now it's been a week. She
Mhm.
no longer has that kind of ranky smell to
Yeah.
her. I'm like, she's got a clean body.
Good.
God.
Yes. Yes. Well,
Yeah.
Amanda,
But
from both of us, like, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
This was
thank
a
you.
blast.
it was fun.
It was so nice to see your face. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. And stick around, of course, we'll talk, but we can go ahead and end it. And yeah, because I have
questions?
Trying to find the stop record button. Hold on.
it's okay, I'll cut all this.